Alright, you ready? Because I am not. Within Temptation. Let Us Burn, yeah. So, this is an interesting song. It's a pretty cool song. So, it took a lot of time to figure out the song, and I was listening to the song with these really good headphones on just the instrumental tracks. So I was just like really paying attention to the rhythm guitar, and I listened to it a bunch of times over and over. And I was also listening to and watching live performances, so I was seeing what the guy was actually doing, where he was playing stuff. And this is an interesting song because it's the kind of song where it's a pretty straightforward thing that he's doing, but there's all these little tiny nuances. So if you're not paying really close attention, you're probably going to not even notice them. Alright, so the whole song starts off with the refrain, but without the lyrics. But it's still the refrain, essentially. So this is how that goes. Oh yeah, so you also need a 7-string to play this song. And it's tuned to E standard, and just with the regular low B on the 7th string. So if you want to get really into the little tiny details, he comes into that first refrain by sliding into it. It just makes it sound cooler, basically. So like I said, pretty straightforward. So we're starting on the 3rd fret of the 7th string, and it's just a regular power chord. So it's going to be 3 on the 7th string, and then 5 on the 6th string. And if you want, you can throw in the 5 on the 5th string as well. I don't really think it matters if you do, one or the other. It's still going to sound basically the same. This is a power chord. And then you strum it like this. And then you go down to open on the 7th, and then 2nd fret of the 6th, 2nd fret of the 5th, and it's the same exact strumming pattern. Alright, and then you go up to the 2nd fret of the 6th string, 4th fret of the 5th string, 4th fret of the 4th string, same exact strumming pattern. And then again, it's just a power chord, but now you're starting on the 6th string open, and then 2nd fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret of the 4th string, same pattern. And then you're going to do the exact same thing over again, except now you're going to end a little differently, and I'll show you how that goes. So you're going to do it over again, which is going to sound like this. But this is where it changes a little bit. So now you go like this. 2nd fret of the 6th string, just a power chord, but now you're going to play it like this. Alright, so what I did there is just, 2nd fret of the 6th string power chord. And then you just hit the 4th fret of the 6th string, and then the 5th fret of the 6th string. That's how you make that sound. So again, sounds like this. After that, you just go right back to open on the 6th and just use the same strumming pattern. Okay? And then you're going to do that entire thing over again. So you just repeat it. Yeah, so that is the very beginning. That's the refrain. I noticed that on the verses, he's basically playing the same chords, but he's playing it differently, and he plays it on a different area of the neck. So now he's playing it up here as opposed to like down here. When it comes in like that, it starts on the 7th fret of the 7th string, and it's just a regular power chord. So it's all palm muted, and I'll play it slowly so you can hear it sounds better. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Slides down to the 3rd fret, again just a power chord. So it's a little different that time. So it's a little flick at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, kind of like that. So it's like really quick 2 strokes at the very end. And then up here, it's a 5th fret, same thing, just a power chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the open on the 7th, and then, you know, again, just a power chord. So it's going to be 2 on the 6th string, and then 2 on the 5th string. Again, palm mute. Again, a little flick at the end. Then you basically do the same thing one more time, except this time at the very end, you don't end with a flick at the end. So the second time around, when you end with this chord, you don't do a little flick at the end, you just do it like this. So this is how it all sounds together. And then a little pause right there. And then there's another refrain. So it's basically, I think, the same exact thing as the first refrain, except this time you don't slide into it. He doesn't slide into it. So again, like. And he just does that one more time. Alright, so the second verse, for the first half, there's like no guitar at all, and then the rhythm comes in, and it's basically the same thing, except it ends a little differently, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'll play the whole thing, so here we go. So obviously the end of that is a little different. So what he does there is he goes down to the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and it's just a power chord, and he plays it like this. I'll play it a little slower, just like really quick. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, down to the open string, the 6th string, and just another power chord. Same idea. And then the 3rd fret of the 7th string, power chord, same idea. So it's a little different at the end of that one. So it's just another slide up. Right before you slide up, you do a really quick dun again. So it sounds like this, a little slower. And then he goes into the refrain again. And this time, it's a little different, the refrain. And so there's this one part that I'll show you when we get to it, that it's like extremely easy to miss. Again, like if you're not paying really close attention. And so I'll play it, and I'll kind of point out that part when I get to it. So it sounds like this. So that part right there is the part I was talking about. So at the very last chord, that's what he does right there. So what he does that's different, it's going to be the 5th fret of the 6th string, 4th fret of the 6th string, and then the 5th fret of the 7th string. Again, you have to be listening really, really closely, but you will hear it, I swear to God. If you have like really good headphones, listen to like the instrumental track and you will hear it. So right after that, he goes into this little part. It's kind of like a breakdown kind of part, and it sounds like this. and it's just palm muting. I'll play it slowly. I'll actually play from the 2nd fret, and then he moves up to the 3rd fret. So I'll play those two things. Okay. I'll play one more time actually, just a little slowly. And then now he does similar thing, but he goes from the 2nd fret to open power chord, but the same idea. So far those two things together sound like this. Okay. Now I think he does the same exact thing again, but let's just see to make sure. So after that he goes like this. Yeah, so it's just the same thing. So he does that twice. And then after that, it's a similar kind of idea, except now he's just playing it without palm muting, and it sounds like he's just playing just that one string, the 7th string. So it's going to sound like this. So at the very, very end, it's going to be the open string on the 7th string. And again, just palm muting. And I'll play it a little slowly. So it sounds like this. So again, that very last part sounds like this. Alright, so right after that goes into this next part, which sounds like this. Alright, so for that part, it's the same exact strumming pattern as in the refrain. At the very end, it's a little different, but this is how it goes. So it starts with the 3rd fret, 7th string, power chord. Up to the 5th fret, 7th string, power chord, same exact strumming pattern. And then the 7th fret, 7th string. Slide down to the 2nd fret of the 7th string. And then the 3rd fret again. 5th fret. And then open. And then this is a little different, so 2nd fret. So it just ends a little differently. So after that is a guitar solo, and the rhythm in the solo is the same exact rhythm that's in the refrain. So I'm going to play it like pretty fast just to get through it, because I've already done it like a million times. So this is how it goes. Fuck, that's not how it goes. This is how it goes. Alright, and then the actual refrain comes in. And again, it's the same thing as before. So yeah, you just do the refrain again, but the refrain ends a little differently this time, and I'll show you how to do it. So you play the whole thing and it ends like, you know, and then you do it again just like normal and all that stuff. And then the second time when you play this part, the second time you do that, it's going to end differently than usual. And this is going to be the end of the song. So this is how the whole thing ends. It ends like that. So this is how it goes. And then it just rings out. So basically do the same thing as usual, but it's going to be a little different. So now you're going to do the palm muting on the 2nd fret of the 7th string. 1, 2, 3. And then end it with just the power chord on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. Just a big power chord. let it ring out, and that's how you do it. Alright, cool. Hope that helped. That's how you play, what's it called? Let Us Burn by Within Temptation. Good stuff. Cool. Let me know what you think. And I might do a video of just all the lead stuff if you want. Alright, cool. See you later. Hope it helps.